I'm going to talk to a bunch of CIOs and CTOs about innovation. They're probably going to sit there and think, well, I know enough about innovation. No one's going to be able to tell me anything more about that. So innovation. So the first thing I thought I'd do, I'd just look at the current dictionary definition of innovation. We talk here about innovation being crucial for success and around being a new method, idea or product. The synonyms being change, alteration, revolution, upheaval and transformation. Obviously profitability and efficiency gains, significant growth and market share, reputation and brand. So if you're known in the market as being someone who is particularly innovative or has interest in new ideas, then that can establish you some significant brand value. The problem for particularly big companies is why they don't innovate, and there's all sorts of reasons, and some of them are more acute than others, but generally it's in combination they can create a set of problems and a set of fears and behaviours that means that people don't want to innovate. We talk about things like functional silos and bureaucracy, so people are comfortable or feel like they have a specific role to do and a particular role to play in an organisation, and they're not willing to expand that or think about it in a different way. And then just fear, apathy, lack of incentive. So it's just really, you can feel it in organisations who've got it, and you can feel it in organisations who haven't. Technology and change leaders, you have to create some safety. So you have to support people, you have to back people, and you need to be able to create an environment where people can ask the dumb question or challenge or just explore the idea a little bit more. So there's a real thing around creating safety as a leader that I think is lacking in lots of us, and I think we should all work hard to try and create that safety and that open dialogue with people and let people know that just because you're a member of a senior management team that they can't have an honest and frank and open conversation about where they see problems. Solutions. When they go and see solutions, they go and see a tech company, oh, it's an amazing tech company doing something with drones, it's amazing. Now let me come back to my bank, right, what problem have I got that I can solve with drones, right? And they're thinking about it the wrong way around. So you need to be thinking about where are the problems in my business today, what are the problems I really can't solve with either the people or the technology approach I already have, and then go and look for someone to solve a problem for you. And so you can kind of innovate everywhere, or you can be a bit more precise and say, well, okay, where are my acute areas of focus? So am I worried about costs? Am I worried about my legacy? I worry about the customers, my differentiators. There's lots of different areas you can focus on, but you kind of can't do it all at once. So quite often in an organisation, people have a fear or a perception of something that actually is not based in reality. So people might fear, if I do this without asking permission, I'll get sacked. Okay, what evidence is there of anyone trying to take an innovative step in this country and be a company and being sacked? If there is, then that's a problem, but quite often there isn't. There is no constraint. People just think or behave in a way because it's kind of social conformity or whatever. They don't try and test the boundaries or do something in a different way. So it's interesting to kind of augment your team with people who aren't like you, right? That's the fundamental lesson. Try and get people who've got different experiences, different backgrounds, different views, because it starts to kind of create some really interesting conversation. Part of the issue with big companies is that they try and be too strategic. So we try and have a 5-year roadmap, a 5-year plan, a strategy, a target operating model, blah, blah, blah. And then the world's changed in 18 months, and then everyone's saying, oh, we spent too much money, we were too late, we didn't deliver. So I think sometimes you need to be more focused on, trying to be more precise about what you're doing today and trying to allow that flexibility into the future. You can have all the strategy and the planning and the architecture in the world, and you have all sorts of ideas and hypotheses, but until you really put it into the market and really test yourself against the market, the honest answer, you don't really know. It's all very, very hypothetical. And this isn't a formal framework, I think this is just some musings that I have around what a innovation framework or cycle might look like. So how would you think about innovation, and how can you maybe start to encourage a large organisation to maybe be a bit more innovative, and how can you kind of seed some thoughts about thinking about innovation? So the exemplar can be a technology, a new product or service, or just a person, right? But someone or something that can set the standard, set an example, and then that becomes evolution. So you start to then gain some momentum, and then you can start to say, well, actually we can start to build in wider slices, and it gradually evolves. But again, we don't think about target architectures, target operating models. It's just something that's more organic, and there's more flow around it. But you can't afford to think, because you've done the first thing, that you don't then have to do the second thing. The same way that Henry Ford learned, he was very, very innovative in the way he launched Ford, and then GM caught up and overtook him and eventually surpassed Ford because he didn't continue to innovate. He was innovated once and thought that was enough. You just have to keep going. It's relentless, and it carries on forever. Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. So we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking that created them. We can only see a short distance ahead. We can see there's plenty that needs to be done. To innovate is to seek the unfamiliar, the uncomfortable, the unproved, and to strive for the unimaginable. Thank you very much. Questions?